Welcome to the BA Coaches Show, where we talk all things Nebraska sports all the time. Interviews, breakdowns, rants, and more. Expect it all from the Nebraska diehard, Coach Ben Audi. Make sure you click the like, subscribe, or follow button and enjoy this conversation about our beloved Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Well, welcome to the BA Coaches Show, I guess. You guys already know what we're talking about. Nebraska played a football game on Saturday. Or did they? I know Indiana played a football game. All jokes aside, this episode may end up sucking because I don't have a ton of words for that. We're going to do our best. Before we get into anything, as always, make sure you like this video, follow the podcast, subscribe, share all the social media stuff at the BA Coaches Show. Yikes, 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 yikes. That was one of the ugliest games Nebraska has played in my time as a fan. You'll notice I'm still wearing the In Rule We Trust shirt because I still do trust Matt Rule. I do. Changes need to happen, my friends. We're going to discuss that today. Change must happen. As normal, we're going to go through the offense, the defense, the special teams. We're going to have a little heart-to-heart conversation. We're going to do some semblance of the BA breakdown, then we're going to get out of here. Okay? Let's start with what we'll start with the defense, okay? I had been on here the last few weeks and said this defense was legit. The black shirts were back. Here's what I'll say. Nebraska defense is good. It ain't great. It is what it is. You can throw any numbers you want at me. I know I'm going to get some probably hate for saying that just because of how strongly I was on them after that Rutgers game. I'll admit it. That defense isn't great. They're still good. Great defenses don't get burnt the way they did. Great defenses don't play with a lack of gap integrity. Great defenses don't quit. And that's not me saying that. That's one of the captains on that team. That is one of the leaders on that defense saying they quit. So, how do we bounce back from this? Hey, we got to come out firing. We got a hell of a test coming up with Ohio State, right? Playing a team that's going to run a similar scheme with maybe even better players. I don't expect us to give up 56 points. I don't. But we got to figure some things out. The defense got to do some soul searching. I'll admit, offense didn't do a good job playing complementary football. They let the defense be on the field way too much. Way too much. But it was bad, guys. That was a bad defensive day. Got a lot to figure out. Offensively, this is where I am at offensively. We do not have an offensive identity still. I'm ticked. I'm ticked about this. I'll be real. How do we come out of the bye week, okay, and not have any sort of semblance of an offensive identity? Okay, here's where I'm a little annoyed with some of the media in Lincoln. I understand Saturday post-game, you're not going to ask any difficult questions. To me, post-game press conferences for coaches are, this is, what does the coach want to put out? Those Monday should be some big boy questions. And I'm not asking you guys that have the privilege of asking questions. I'm not asking you to ask anything too crazy. or hard or that's going to get a lot of heat on you. I want real football questions. What do I mean by that? I got one for you. This is what I'm begging to hear. I want wearing the shirt, one of the biggest Matt Rule fans in the world. I want to know, Matt Rule, you said you did an extensive study of the run game. What did that study consist of? And how did you incorporate that into the game plan on Saturday? Because obviously you're not going to say this, but this is me adding my thoughts, is whatever you did, it didn't work. Okay? It didn't work. And before I get into some more offensive thoughts, I have a clip I want to play for you guys. This is from Mornings with Sharp and Hanley, obviously my weekly radio appearance. All this audio that's being played right now is courtesy of 1620 The Zone. I do not own this audio, but I want to play it for you guys. Check out this audio. We'll talk more after, but I want to play this clip for you on some of my thoughts on the offense, and we'll go from there.
So I have a lot of problems and gripe with our offensive staff right now, if I'm being honest with you. And game day play calling is definitely up there, but I'd say it might not be my biggest gripe, if that makes sense. Just because, I don't know. To answer your question, I know this doesn't answer, but I don't know why there's such a big disconnect. I don't know if it's a disconnect between Satterfield and Rule. I don't know. I don't know if it's just what he's saying publicly isn't what we're actually wanting to see in the games. I don't know, because you're right. Everything that Matt Rule preaches and says that we want to do with the run game is not happening. I'd really like to know, just bluntly here, like, what did that run game study that he said we did, what did that show us, and how did we incorporate that into what happened Saturday? To me, it looked bad. Like, I know he said, we had a big, extensive run game study, and he studied it and how to improve it. I want to know what that was. I know I will never know the answer to that, but if I could, I would really like to know what that study consisted of and how we tried to incorporate that, because it did not work.
All right, so what was your top gripe then?
Okay. To me, it goes.
Oh, that's not good when somebody goes, okay. Yeah. It's like you're supposed to prepare yourself.
Right.
Sit down for this discussion.
I've been chewing on this for a while.
Yeah, to me, it's a lot deeper than play calling, because, yes, I'm not going to come on here and say the play calling was good. But here's my hypothetical question I have to you guys, okay? What plays should you be calling when you have an offensive line that isn't getting a vertical push, not holding in pass pro long enough, your receivers aren't getting any separation, and they're an embarrassment blocking on the perimeter, right? Like, to me, the whole entire offensive, every position group has gotten – it's regressed from game to game since about Colorado or Northern – like, for the last month, I think every position group on offense has regressed when every other defense in the country is getting better. And that ultimately lands on the offensive staff, the offensive coordinator, and, yes, that ends up going to Matt Rule, right? So that's my biggest gripe is, yes, we need to figure out the play calling. But to me, I don't know what plays you should be calling when you have no operation on your team that's working well, if that makes sense.
So, yeah, when you hear some of those thoughts, when I'm saying what plays do you call when all these operations aren't working well, some of that's been misconstrued a little bit into saying I'm defending Satterfield in this. And I'm here to tell you I am not. I have defended Satterfield this season. I've defended Satterfield this month. I'm not defending this, okay? This, to me, what I just said is a bigger indictment of Marcus Satterfield as an offensive coordinator. Because to me, when we don't have a system, we're not doing anything to be getting better. We're regressing or staying stagnant. This is a bigger indictment of Marcus Satterfield as an offensive coordinator, because I do not think I think he's a bad offensive coordinator, not just a mediocre play caller. I think that the game day play calls are not the biggest concern. The biggest concern is, why is our offense so shitty? I'll put it bluntly. And I'll be real. Okay, I got a tweet I want to pull up for you guys. Let me find this picture of it. From Big Red Storm, good Twitter account. Go follow him, okay? He said, he was replying to a tweet, but he said, the biggest fail on offense is not getting Heinrich Harburg heavily involved. possibly the best offensive player. Lots of creative options are available and could reduce pressure on DR. Raiola, right? So I'm not even going to talk. I agree for the most part with what he said. I wish we'd use Harburg more, but I'm going to take this a different direction. Matt Rule has said all season he wants to use Harburg more, right? Matt Rule has been at however many press conferences and said that we're going to try and do this with the run game. This is what I want to do with the run game. We're going to out physical people. There's a disconnect happening. And here's where if Matt Rule ever sees this, I want to challenge you, Matt Rule. Okay? My question to you is, what are you going to do about it? Yes, when you're saying this stuff after the fact, I wish we got Harburg the ball more. We need to be doing this physical-wise. Are you going to say something about it beforehand? Are you going to say something about it this week in preparation? Or are you going to say something after the fact? Because if you're just saying things after the fact, if you're saying it the next day, oh, I wish we would have done that, you're just being a fan at that point. You're no different than me. You're no different than any of the guys on Twitter. And I'm not using that as a huge shot. I'm just saying when you're the head coach, when you are the man in charge and you want to see this, it is your job and your duty to make that happen. This is your team. I believe in 99.9% of the things that you're putting out here about what you want this team to be. I believe it. I truly do. I'm wearing a goddamn In Rule We Trust shirt right now. I still believe in this team. I believe in you. But what you are saying is not what's translating onto the field. It's not happening. Wherever that disconnect is, it is on you to get what the words you are saying onto the field. It can't just be words. I believe that you don't want it to just be words. But right now, it's just words. Okay, so when we say we want to get Harburg more involved in the game, get him more involved in the game. Don't just talk about it. I know this is going to come off as harsh, but I'm just trying to say, that's kind of your job, man. I don't think that's unfair to say. Maybe it is, and I'll get a bunch of hate for it. I don't think it's unfair to say. Offensively, I don't know. To me, we got to win 1, 2, 3, 4 more games and just get to the end. And we got to find a new offense coordinator. I'm not talking about firing anybody. Keep Satterfield on staff for all I care, but we need a new offense coordinator. Special teams, oh boy. I don't know what to tell you guys, man. It's bad, dog. It's bad. And here's what bothers me the most. I talked about it last week. The things that are happening on the field, special teams wise, would not be acceptable in small town high school Kansas football. And I know that because I've coached it. And that's why I'm using Kansas as an example and not Nebraska. It's not acceptable in Nebraska either. I'm just saying I've coached Kansas football before. And all right, we're going to keep going on some of this tough talk conversation, okay? This is some tough things that I wish I wasn't saying right now, okay? I'm just dumbfounded. The performance is inexcusable. Every single week, it's the same freaking mistakes, man. When it came to the bad snaps, it is what it is. I know, yes, it ultimately comes down on coaching, but I'm not going to come after anybody for that. The players still have to be able to go out there and execute the whole field goal operation, okay? But the lack of situational awareness boggles my mind still. We're fielding kickoffs at the 2-yard line going out of bounds at the 1. It's not just a misstep anymore. It's fundamentally not understanding the game, not understanding your assignment, discipline, knowledge, awareness. When we're seeing gunners on punt team running through the back of the end zone, it's baffling. We've talked about before when we're returning kicks. when the hands team's on the field, we don't have anyone blocking. This is a lack of focus, preparation, awareness, something. When one of these things are happening, things happen. When one player's repeatedly making the mistakes, bench him. When it's multiple players across multiple units making the same freaking mistakes every week, it's coaching. The expectation must be clear. If you're on the field, know your role and execute. It's raising some serious questions for me about the emphasis that we're placing on things. And every coach in America says they emphasize special teams. Every coach in America from high school to Division I power football dedicates a crap ton of time into special teams. I am not saying that they don't put the time and the effort during the weekend. What I am saying is we're not caring about it. You want to know how I know we don't care about it? Because it's not getting better. And there's been no accountability anywhere. We are undermining this entire freaking team because there's no accountability. These errors just can't keep happening, and they're going to continue to happen. Okay, so here's a tough question that I've been asking. And I heard, I wish I could give credit. There was another podcast that brought something similar up. Okay. I forgot. I apologize. I'm not trying to not give you credit here. But at some point, Matt Rule might have to decide, is he going to be more loyal to his guys on his staff, or is he going to be loyal to these freaking players? Because they deserve better than this. They deserve better than being 7 weeks into a season and not having an offensive identity. They deserve better than not having competent special teams coaching. They deserve better. Nebraska, in my very strong opinion here, is way past the point of being a developmental coaching spot. We need proven guys in here. We're in win freaking now mode. Okay? Yes, I know we're rebuilding. When I say win now, I'm not expecting championships. But man, when we're investing this much money into this football program and we have incompetent coaching, it's tough. And you guys know me. This is the first time I've ever been this critical of coaching, and I hate this. I'm probably going to look back at this in a few days and hate that I recorded myself saying this. I'll be real. I'll probably be very upset. It probably cost me some sort of relationships in the building. It probably did. Probably is. But I'm not going to come on here and lie and say I'm cool with it or that, oh, I understand it. No, it is pathetic, man. Absolutely pathetic. And I can't just pretend that it's cool, man. I can't. I'd be doing you guys a disservice. I strongly feel like a lot of my connection with the audience that I've had, we're almost at 700 subscribers, which is insane to me. A big part of my audience, I feel like, is because I am always authentic with you guys. I'm real. I am. I give you guys my authentic thoughts. When I'm going through tough times up here, I tell you guys that stuff, right? It's real. I would be doing you guys a disservice and lying to you if I wasn't doing this right now and just venting my frustration. How do we – I strongly feel like – because I see a lot of talk on not having a quarterback run game, and here's my pushback. It's 2024. You don't need to have a quarterback run game. If you have an actual system built around him and not just picking plays like you're ordering off a Waffle House menu or ordering off the Cheesecake Factory menu. Oh, I'm going to want this. Oh, let's try this. No, when you have an offensive system, an offensive identity, you know how you protect your young quarterback? not protect. You know how you showcase your young quarterback? Giving him a freaking run game. Running the ball. Not having him drop back and throw the ball 44 times a freaking game. That is not how you do it. Giving him a run game, RPO game. You slow those linebackers up a tad. You slow that safety down just a split second. We've talked about it on this page before in major college football. That is all you need. It's just that split little second slow down. But instead, we're going to throw the ball 44 times. Pathetic. And I'm ticked. Let's get into this BA breakdown. I'll tell you guys, when it comes to the BA breakdown, I decided I'm going to start doing it just like I did with my teams in the past. We're going to do good, bad, ugly, great. I decided it's an easy way to digest it. I'm going to do it. Hey, I was mad it took me so long to figure this out. But then they put up that performance. I got nothing great to show you guys, boys. I got nothing great to show you guys. So we're doing good, ? Good, bad, ugly. You're only getting 3 today. I'm sorry. I'm planning to start doing 4. Good, bad, ugly, great, but we're only doing 3. So, let's get right into it, man. This is going to go good, bad, ugly. All right, when it comes to making a good play, didn't have a ton of options, so I guess I'll go with our touchdown, which even then, yes, it was a touchdown, so it was good, but, I'm not going to – wasn't great. There's nothing great from this game, so you guys are only getting bad, ugly, and good, I guess. This was, we've seen it before, just pretty basic jet sweep here. We got pretty good tackle or pretty good gang blocking here. Sweep to the left. And I want to point out Thomas Fidone on 1st and goal completely did not a great job of blocking. I don't think it's unfair to say that. He made up for it here. That is just textbook manhandling your guy. We had a very good cutoff here. Look at these guys' eyes. We sold this fairly well still because backside kind of looks like it's a run here. The guys that did read it, we did a good job cutting off. These are just cut off blocks. Great. And Barney's fast enough to just get in there. I know this breakdown's not very long, but I don't have a lot of good things to say about this game, so I'm just going to get through it. Here you go. Full speed, baby. Okay, this offensive play to me is pretty bad, ugly all around. I think this is just overall bad. I don't love the play design. This wasn't a great throw by Dylan. Okay, we got 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end, 2x2. We kind of got a sail concept here. And here's what I don't love it. Offensive line actually does a pretty good job picking some things up. Ramir helping him pass pro, steps up, does a good job. Now, when I say I don't love the play design, here's kind of why. We're not sending anyone to the flat, which understandable, I guess, right? So flat defender that we got here is able to just kind of keep going. We've talked about this before on the channel. We got our bait, cat, whatever you want to call him. I'm going to call him the bait defender. He's our bait defender right here trying to bait a throw. He's trying to take away anything from the hash to the boundary here, trying to bait a throw. Here's why I don't love the play design. Okay? Don't hate this route, getting right towards the first down marker, running out of bounds. We're running it towards the boundary on the short side of the field. So we got field side, boundary side. We don't have enough space. Because here's what I'll say. I've said this coaching many times. Best defender of all times this sideline, right? Can't beat it. Undefeated, undisputed. Okay? You're running this play, and it has to just be such a perfect throw. And I don't think it's unfair to say that this was not a good throw by Dylan. I don't think that's unfair to say. I just feel like we didn't do a great job putting him in a good spot here because, yes, this ball was thrown inside, which is right where the bait defender goes. But if this ball was thrown outside, it's probably getting picked by the flat defender. So I'm just saying this ball had to be perfect for it to – and this is the main read on it, and It's just tough. It's just tough. I didn't love the plays line, and I'm sure Marcus Satterfield had a great reason for running this. I'm not gonna try and act like I know more or whatever, but I also don't. I have that power of hindsight in 2020 vision, right? I don't know. I don't love running these concepts towards the boundary, so I'll play it for you. Kind of going in slow speed, intercepted, and just I want to give credit. I'm not going to make fun of you, Dylan. I know you slipped. That's a tough thing of a tackle here. Ramir does a great job chasing him down. Not a great tackle, but hey, a lot of players would give up on that. I've seen so many players give up on plays like that. Play for you guys in full speed. And like I said, I'm not trying to rag on it too much. Like I said, I have the power of hindsight. I just don't love running these concepts towards the boundary, especially when you got a bait defender like that. It's just not a recipe for success, in my opinion. Is what it is, guys. Ugly game all around. All right. Trying to find a defensive play to break down was not fun, if you want the truth. This is what I'm going to call the tendency breaker. This was not a very good job. So we got a 2x2 set. They got their tight end coming in motion. Got a rover walk down to follow the motion. And here's what I'll say. Here's what we call the tendency breaker, okay? So we got our 3 down linemen, jack linebacker walked up, right? So most of the time when you're going against these spread RPO type of teams, what you're going to see, that Indiana does a lot of RPO type stuff, right? You're going to see this back lined up opposite. You're going to just see running inside zone, outside zone, a lot of RPO type of action. Obviously, ball coming back towards this side. So, for instance, if we're looking at from the offensive perspective, running back on the left, he's going to get the ball and end up going towards the right. We adjust for this. See, we got John Bullock sitting here. We also got our 3 down linemen, but we got our defensive end playing a little bit outside. Yes, that's because we have the jack backer, but it's part of the tendency with this. Here's why it's called the tendency breaker, and I have to say this is a play that I've loved to run. I've ran this type of play before, had a lot of success with it, especially when you put it in week 4, 5, 6, 7. Running toss, that's all you got to do. They're going to over-adjust. Just toss the ball right where they came from, and here's why I love major college football. I just love watching tackles pull. Now, some little, it's not even a little detail, something that you're going to see. Here is the biggest issue that this play had. 3rd and 1, okay? Look how many offensive linemen are getting to the second level. John Bullock, I'm going to give you credit for taking on both of these blockers, okay? However, that is not what you should be doing. I'm not blaming John Bullock on this. That should not be his role. He's the guy. Our front guys are supposed to be the ones, right? They're supposed to be the ones holding up these linemen. We have way too many linemen just going straight down. It's not a good look. So now, as a former running backs coach, I'll tell you, what is one of the first things you're going to look for as you get to the line of scrimmage? A cutback lane. All the running backs want to do, especially all the explosive running backs. So as we have all these offensive linemen getting to the second level, we're flowing. John mother-frickin' Bullock should be sitting right here ready to make a hit. There's no cutback lane. He's either going to have to run into this or he's going to run into John Bullock. But since the offensive linemen were able to get to the second level, huge cutback lane. Wish we would have tracked the near hit better here because that's just a poor attempt at a tackle. We just kind of olayed him like a matador. I think that's what they're called. I don't know. I'm not a genius. Wish this Indiana guy would get out of the way cheering, but hey, it is what it is. Also wish we'd tackle a little bit better here. I don't know. I'm nitpicking, I guess. That's just a super high tackle, and we just gave him so many more yards. You got help coming if we just try and wrap those hips, just like form tackle. We do a decent job tracking here. If we just go a little bit lower, slow him down, you got big hits coming. But we just give him an extra dang near over 10 yards. We gave him 10 yards from where he made contact. So you just cost us another 10 yards. I know I'm probably being nitpicky, but defense was not good. So I'll let you guys watch this in full speed. Like I said, the big issue to me on this play is 3rd and 1. We got to do a better job keeping these linemen from getting to the next level because that shut the play down. Big cutback, bad tackle. Yikes. So that is the BA breakdown. We are going to probably get ready to wrap this episode up just because we're right at that 30-minute mark that we try and keep it at. We do have big things coming for the show that will be longer episodes, but I can't announce that because we're not there yet. But hopefully after the season, hopefully between the end of the regular season and before a bowl game, that'd be really cool, wouldn't it? But got things coming. But for now till the end of the season, I'm going to put out 1 or 2 30-minute episodes a week, and it'll be better eventually. But this is what we got right now. I want to say that I somewhat apologize for the negativity of this episode, but I fully believe in everything I said. I stand by it. Again, maybe I will regret some of it, but is what it is. I feel pretty strongly with it. And if it costs me some sort of building relationships, then it sucks. But hey, that's why I do this, right? So before we get out of here, make sure you check out my segments Monday, 16:20 The Zone, Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. They're a really good time. They're a lot more fun to do after a win, I'll tell you that. But hey, what are you going to do? I appreciate those guys having me on. Like I said, I played that clip earlier. I thought it was really good. So, yeah, with that, we're going to get ready to wrap up the episode. Like I said, make sure you subscribe. Follow me on all social media at the BA Coaches Show. I'm pretty active on there. And yeah, this has been just a venting session of me getting angry. And this will be fun to watch back later in the week. But yeah, as always, G, B, R, and in rule we trust. I still believe in it. In rule we trust, baby.